The Veer, one of the most explosive, misunderstood, and now largely forgotten offenses in college football history. In its prime, it shattered records, terrorized defenses, and turned undersized teams into national contenders. Today, it's mostly remembered by football historians, old school coaches, and the service academies, although there are likely a number of high schools that still run the offense. We've been getting a lot of comments from existing coaches and ex-players, and I'd love to see more about the Veer from this video. But where did the Veer come from? Who invented it? And, like the Wishbone, why did one of the most dominant offenses of the 20th century fall out of favor? To understand the Veer, you have to start with a man named Bill Yeoman. Born in 1927, Yeoman was a West Point graduate who played for Army from 1946 to 1948. His coach at Army was the legendary Earl Red Blaik, and Yeoman played center in the split T formation. The split T was a system that heavily emphasized deception, quick reads, and rapid execution. These core concepts clearly stuck with Yeoman when he transitioned into coaching. Out of this background, the Veer was born. The term Veer itself refers to the angle at which the dive back attacks the line of scrimmage. Unlike the straight-ahead fullback dive often seen in the wishbone or I formation, the veer back takes a path that literally veers at an angle, often through the guard-tackle gap. The origin story of the veer is almost as entertaining as watching the offense in action. From Houston History magazine, May 2017, comes a story by Ryan Graham called The Original Bonafide Dude, Coach Bill Yeoman and Early UH Football. One day during practice, the offense was attempting to run a simple halfback dive play out of a split back formation. After failing to see much success against an 8-man front, Yeoman told his offense, "Since you can't block the defensive tackle, just get out of the way." After this adjustment, the offense gained around 15 to 20 yards per play. The next day, while watching film from the previous day's practice, Yeoman said, "Hold it. There's something here we need to pursue." Yeoman further developed the veer and refined it by introducing new elements into the offense. In just a few short years after its implementation, the veer helped the Houston Cougars compete against some of the best teams in the country. The veer offense didn't emerge from a complete vacuum. Option football in various forms had been around for a while, with roots in formations like the modern T formation and the split T. You can watch our history videos on those offenses after you're finished with this one. These earlier offenses introduced the concept of the quarterback making decisions based upon defensive reactions. What Bill Yeoman developed with the veer was indeed revolutionary for its time. The key innovation was its systematic use of the triple option from a split back formation, where the quarterback had 3 potential choices after the snap based on reading unblocked defensive linemen: give to the dive back, keep the ball himself, or pitch to the trailing halfback. While earlier option plays existed, the veer packaged these reads into a cohesive primary offensive philosophy. It's important to distinguish the veer from the wishbone, though they are closely related. The veer, developed by Yeoman in Houston, predates the wishbone. Emory Ballard, as offensive coordinator at Texas under Darrell Royal, later developed the wishbone in 1968. By marrying the option principles of the veer formation with a full house backfield. Ballard essentially took the triple option concept central to the veer and adapted it to a new formation with the fullback positioned closer to the line of scrimmage between the 2 halfbacks. So while the wishbone became immensely famous, it was built upon the foundational option principles that Yeoman had already successfully implemented with the veer. The veer was the forerunner of that style of triple option attack. The heart of the veer offense lay in its option running plays, primarily the inside veer and outside veer. These plays, while appearing similar, targeted different points of the defensive front and involved reading different defenders. The beauty of the veer was its ability to make the defense wrong by forcing an unblocked defender to make a choice. with the quarterback then exploiting that choice. The triple option mechanics. The veer is generally regarded as a triple option attack because on any given play, there were three potential ball carriers: the dive back, the quarterback, and the pitch back. Here's how a typical outside veer to the right from a split back formation worked. The quarterback takes the snap and pivots on his right foot and extends the ball toward the sideline he is facing. The right halfback, the dive back, attacks the line aiming for a specific gap and meets the quarterback at the mesh point. The offensive line would intentionally leave a defensive player at the point of attack unblocked. This was the dive key. If the dive key crashed down hard to tackle the dive back, the quarterback pulls the ball from the dive back's belly and continues to the next read. If the dive key stays wide to contain the quarterback or attacks the quarterback directly, the quarterback gives the ball to the dive back. If not, the quarterback keeps the ball and the left halfback, the pitch back, trails the quarterback a few yards outside and slightly behind. The quarterback reads the next unblocked perimeter defender, usually a defensive end or an outside linebacker, and he becomes the pitch key. If the pitch key widens to cover the pitch back or stays outside, the quarterback cuts upfield and runs the ball himself. This entire sequence happened in a matter of seconds, demanding incredible discipline and quick decision-making from the quarterback. A little bit more detail. The mesh point. This was the critical moment of interaction between the quarterback and the dive back. The dive back would explode forward and put his arms around the ball being extended by the quarterback, but he would not take it unless the quarterback made the conscious decision to give it based on his read. This required immense practice, trust, and timing to avoid fumbles and ensure the read was executed correctly. The offensive line didn't try to block everyone. Instead, they used angles and double teams to create seams and seal off defenders, strategically leaving specific players unblocked for the quarterback to read. This was a departure from traditional blocking schemes, where the goal was to physically dominate every defender. On the perimeter, wide receivers or a tight end were responsible for blocking the force player, often a cornerback or safety responsible for containing outside runs. While the inside veer and outside veer were the bread and butter, a successful veer offense couldn't be one-dimensional. To keep defenses from solely keying on the triple option, several complementary plays were crucial. Play-action passes, counter-plays, lead draws, and cross sweeps. These plays used misdirection to take advantage of aggressive defenders. The veer elevated the quarterback to a true field general, making multiple critical decisions post-snap. While the reads were complex for the quarterback, the assignments for other players, once mastered, had a degree of simplicity, allowing for precise execution. For defenses, however, the multiple options presented on nearly every snap created immense assignment pressure and the potential for errors. I want to include a long quote from Bill Yeoman about the option offense because he talks about the mental aspect of football, something that's so often overlooked. From the book Football Offense and Plays from the American Football Coaches Association, published in 2006, comes this. By running an option offense, you decrease the advantage of having a better athlete on defense than is across the line on offense. The defensive tackle either tackles the dive man or you hand off. The defensive end either tackles the quarterback or takes the pitch, which means basically we don't have to have an offensive lineman capable of blocking the usually outstanding athletes playing defensive tackle and defensive end. We believe strongly that you can't stop our basic play with a balanced defense, so the opponent must adjust on defense. The defense has three groups that they can adjust: the linemen, linebackers, or secondary. It usually took no more than one series to find out what their basic alignment was and how they had been coached. This brings to the front the mental part of the game. What we had to do was take what the players had been taught and use that against them. If what we did was effective, the confidence opposing players had in their coaching was seriously diminished. which puts a defense in shambles. If you can see the coaches and players argue on the other sideline, your chances of winning have significantly improved. The Veer offense, thanks to its innovative nature and effectiveness, was adopted and mastered by several influential coaches who achieved remarkable success. The first is obvious: Bill Yeoman at the University of Houston. The pioneer of the Veer offense, Yeoman turned Houston into an offensive juggernaut. His Cougars led the nation in total offense 3 straight years from 1966 to 1968, peaking at 562 yards per game in 1968, a then NCAA record. That same year, they also led the nation in scoring at 42.5 points per game. After joining the Southwest Conference, Yeoman's Houston teams won 4 SWC titles, 1976, 78, 79, and 84, and reached 11 bowl games. Somewhere I read that Houston at one point held 78 NCAA records and 31 team records. I could not verify that, but holy cow. That's like all of them. Lou Holtz at North Carolina State. At North Carolina State in 1972 to 75, Holtz used the Veer to win the 1973 ACC championship and posted 3 straight AP Top 20 finishes. His Wolfpack compiled a 33-12-3 record, highlighted by a dominant 49-13 Peach Bowl win over West Virginia in 1972. Holtz proved the Veer could thrive outside its Texas roots in a major conference. Jim Wacker at Texas Lutheran. At Texas Lutheran, Wacker's 1974 team ran only the Veer from a tight 2-end formation and split backfield. They were a juggernaut, shutting out 6 opponents in a 14-0 season that concluded with a 42-0 rout of Missouri Valley for the NAIA Division II championship. Texas Lutheran outscored its foes by an average of 30-3. They claimed a second straight title in 1975 with a 34-8 spanking of California Lutheran in the championship game. Eric Russell at Georgia Southern. Russell created a Division I AA dynasty at Georgia Southern with his Veer-based Hambone offense led by quarterback Tracy Ham. His Eagles won national championships in 1985 and 1986, demonstrating the Veer's staying power and adaptability even as defenses evolved. Bob Ladouceur at De La Salle High School, a name I probably butchered worse than Emory Bellard. Using the Veer to overcome disadvantages, Ladouceur's De La Salle teams achieved unmatched high school success, including a national record 151-game winning streak from 1992 to 2004, 399 total wins, 28 sectional titles, and 10 national championships. His disciplined Veer execution became a blueprint for sustained dominance. The Veer offense demanded quick decision-making and fearless execution, especially from its quarterbacks. Bo Burris was the first to take the reins under Bill Yeoman at Houston. In 1966, Burris led the nation in passing touchdowns while managing a potent offense that averaged over 33 points and 437 yards per game. Just 2 years later, Ken Bailey and Rusty Clark shared quarterback duties during Houston's explosive 1968 season. Bailey contributed over 1,600 total yards, and Clark added another 650 through the air, guiding the Cougars to an outstanding 562 yards and 42.5 points per game, both best in the nation. Tracy Ham took the Veer to new heights at Georgia Southern. In Eric Russell's innovative Hambone offense, Ham's dual threat capabilities were indispensable, accounting for more than half of the team's total offense during one of their national championship runs. The Veer also showcased the talents of dynamic running backs. Houston's Paul Gibson bulldozed defenses with 1,550 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns, forcing opponents to respect the dive and opening up the perimeter. Warren McVay, the first black player at Houston, brought electrifying speed and versatility, adding nearly 1,100 total yards in 1966. Even receivers like Elmo Wright benefited. His 1,198 yards and 11 touchdowns in 1966 came at a staggering 27.9 yards per catch. At North Carolina State, the Veer unlocked the potential of a formidable backfield trio: Willie Burden, Charlie Young, and Stan Fritz. In that same Peach Bowl demolition, Fritz scored 3 touchdowns, and the group laid the groundwork for a powerful ground game that would later include Ted Brown, who became the ACC's all-time leading rusher. The Veer didn't just require stars, it created them. As defenses evolved, the classic under-center split-back veer began to lose effectiveness at the major college level by the early 1980s. Teams like Florida State and Notre Dame developed tactics to neutralize it, such as aggressively targeting the pitchman or using mirror and robber coverages to confuse reads. Stunting defensive lines and slow playing the option reduced the Veer's triple option threat. Additionally, the offense struggled in come from behind scenarios due to its run heavy nature and limited passing explosiveness. Another major drawback was the physical toll on quarterbacks. As the importance of the passing game grew and programs prioritized quarterback health, fewer top tier teams were willing to commit to an offense that exposed their quarterbacks to frequent hits. Despite its decline in top tier college football, the Veer persists in high school programs and smaller colleges. Bob Ledesier's De La Salle High School dominated with it, and service academies like Army, Navy, and Air Force adopted its principles in the Flexbone, a disciplined, execution-heavy descendant of the Veer and Wishbone. While the classic split-back under-center Veer is a less frequent sight on today's gridirons, its spirit and fundamental principles are undeniably vibrant and influential. The indelible DNA of the Veer is clearly visible in the lineage of the Wishbone, the strategic complexities of the Flexbone, the zone read, and the Veer and shoot, and most pervasively in the thousands of RPOs, run pass option plays, called every weekend. The Veer revolutionized how offenses approach decision making, leverage, and adaptability. Though its original form has faded at the highest levels, its core philosophy, forcing defenders into lose-lose choices, is more alive than ever in today's shotgun and spread offenses. The Veer offense stands as a profound example of the enduring impact of true innovation in college football. It wasn't merely an offensive system, it was a revolutionary way of conceptualizing offensive attack, and its echoes continue to resonate powerfully on the football fields of today. I'm John Johnston. This is Hardcore College Football History. Thank you for watching.